Thank you, Kenny, for sitting down with me.
Well, thanks, Mark. I appreciate the invitation.
Now, Kenny, you are getting promoted to country manager for KWS. Congratulations. Can you talk a little bit about the new position and what your plans are?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mark. It's an exciting growth opportunity for me. It's something we've been working towards for a while now, and it's great to assume the position. I've had the opportunity to learn a lot from my predecessor, who will continue on in a business consultant role. And it's a great opportunity to take this team, this crop, and opportunity to a new level here in Canada.
Yeah, and you're taking over for, is it Herman?
Yeah, Herman Wehrle.
Yeah, and so what went, after working with Herman, and is there one major piece of wisdom maybe he's passed on to you or that you've learned from him that you're going to kind of take forward in your role?
Yeah, well, I've learned a lot from Herman. My background was seed services, and that's how I got to know KWS. And over the last few years, taking on a commercialization role and getting to understand that side of the business to a larger degree has been a great opportunity. And Herman's experience in the seed industry, in the grain industry, and within chemistry as well has brought additional learning opportunities for me, not to mention his demeanor and the way we've built the team together, put a group of people together that we really have high expectations for. So, I couldn't underestimate how important it's been working with Herman.
When you mentioned there's been a lot of growth, you've gone from just a few people to, I believe it's 8 people now?
Yeah, we're up to 8 staff here in Canada.
Yeah, so that's pretty significant. And what's that growth attributed to?
Well, I would just say that the footprint of hybrid rye with KWS has been a 10-year process, and there's been distributors who've played a large role and continue to in that growth. The genetics are very strong, and their success in other countries, especially Europe, has really put the paving stones down for us to bring in a technology that provides farmers real ROI and insert it into Canada. Not to mention some of the other factors going on with fewer inputs, less time, so better time management for farmers, less spraying especially. All those things make it a really good crop from a timing and a performance standpoint.
Yeah, so can you talk a little bit about your position at KWS and kind of your history with the company?
Yeah, my position is commercialization manager. I've been with the company for just under 2 years, and the company itself is only 2.5 years old. So I was one of the earlier employees to join, and it's been a great experience, a lot of learning so far.
Yeah, I bet. And we're here at PGDC this week, Prairie Grain Development Committee meetings. And I understand you have some cereal lines you're putting forward, I believe hybrid rye, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. We're focused on hybrid rye commercialization, and we've had 2 varieties that we presented today that we're really excited about.
It's been a while since I wrote anything about hybrid rye. It's been a few years. I've done a couple articles on it over the years, but can you talk a little bit about what the crop is, how it works exactly?
Yeah, hybrid rye is a cereal crop. It's a significant crop in Europe, but in North America over the last 20 years, with the decline of fallow, it's fallen off. It is a winter cereal, so winter cereals make up quite a small percentage of acreage in Canada, especially the Western prairies. And it's primarily used for animal feed, both the grain and as a forage, and then distilling and milling. So there's a number of markets, but it is small, less than 1% of Canadian acreage at this time.
So is this your first time at PGDC? Have you been here before? What's your history at PGDC meetings?
Yeah, this is my second year joining. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the meetings? What's kind of the biggest takeaway you've had from it this year?
I find them informative. To be in a group with people on the business and commercial end, you have production people, agronomists, and you also have the breeders and researchers. So it's a unique group. The conversations in the hallway, the sessions, I find I learn as much at this event as any other.
Like you say, hybrid rye is small crops, only about 1% of Canadian acres, but I imagine you probably have some plans to try and bolster the crop, try and increase acreage. How do we go about doing that?
Absolutely. So a big part for us is people. It's not a crop with checkoffs and a lot of public support. So we're growing. We're adding a few people right now. Some of the focuses are end-use market development and especially feed. Because in Europe, 60% of our hybrid rye is used for feed. Whereas in Canada, other than silage, it's quite a small percentage. So the distilling and milling market play a bigger role here than human consumption does in Europe. The other market that's emerging here that we don't have in other countries is ethanol. And in the ethanol industry, rye is a good fit, one, because of the commodity price, and two, because of its carbon footprint. It actually is a better carbon equation compared to other options because it uses less water, less nitrogen, and fewer pesticides.
We heard a lot at the plenary session today about gene editing and these sorts of new technologies. And what is something like gene editing in terms of hybrid rye? Is there a lot of potential there?
From a gene editing standpoint, that's a great outcome for KWS as it looks to the future in Canada and North America. As a European breeder, where our rye breeding all takes place in Europe, gene editing is not approved yet. There's a process going on and an ongoing conversation. So that outcome in Europe will play a big role on where hybrid rye and our other portfolio crops go in the future.
Yeah.
But we're very excited about it. It's a huge opportunity.
Yeah, it is when you think about the possibilities down the road, and it's something that I think everybody's keeping their eye on now, and it's one of those technologies that holds a lot of promise for so many crops, right? So something that for you, I'm sure, like you say, you're keeping your eye on as time goes by. And for you, when you think about rye and the future, where do you think this crop could eventually go here in Canada down the road, 10, 20, 30 years down the road kind of a thing?
Sure. Well, there's significant potential to grow. There's also the opportunity for hybrid rye to take a bigger piece of the pie. Right now, OP rye makes up 2/3 of our acreage in North America. So within rye, there's room to grow with our hybrids. But overall, as a feed crop, it does have some health benefits, especially in swine. And in Europe, 60% of the grain we produce goes into the swine market, whereas we're just doing the research, just scraping the surface right now in Canada. So that growth market, we could be going from less than 1 to 1 to 3%, might be an upside. But the sustainability benefits that the crop provides are now causing it to be the only cereal growing in acreage in Europe. And in Canada, if we continue on that same trend, the values of less herbicides and less nitrogen will be further in the forefront here as well. But for right now, it's yield driven. So if you're a farmer who volume is better, and if we can keep developing the end use markets to give farmers more of a cash crop feel, that's a significant opportunity. And not to mention drought and climate change. When you have a lot of hard winters and short seasons, the winter crop might struggle to come out in the spring. But as we saw last year in a drought, the fall cereals actually outcompeted spring cereals to a higher percentage than normal. So some of the changes going on in the environment could influence higher winter cereal acres as well, of which rye plays a significant part.
Yeah, like you say, lots of potential for the future and for KWS.
Yeah, and we're doing a lot of agronomy. There isn't a lot of public agronomy for farmers to draw on. So we're really taking a boots on the ground approach with our retail partners, with our farmers and end users. So it's an opportunity to do something as a company that also can affect an industry. So it's a unique opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. Looking forward to seeing what happens. Thanks for sitting down with me, Kenny.
Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it.